Hey, welcome back to Programming with Paul. Today I am super stoked. We are recording our first video on a series of videos where we take an existing Angular application and port it into AnalogJs. So what is AnalogJs? AnalogJs is a meta framework built on top of Angular. It provides server-side rendering, and it's also powered by Vite for the build system. So this is all super cool, super new, and we're going to be building it using Angular 16. We'll probably use some signals in there, and it is something that I've been wanting to kind of get my hands dirty on, especially since server-side rendering is kind of making a big comeback into the front-end world here. And so as far as like a meta framework, you can think of things like Next.js and SvelteKit or Nuxt. These are meta frameworks on top of existing JavaScript frameworks, and AnalogJs is the implementation that's built on top of Angular. It's built by Brandon Roberts, who has done a lot of really awesome work in the open source community with NGRX and now AnalogJs. And I'm super excited to kind of get my hands dirty and give it a test spin. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So first thing I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and open up my code editor. And you'll see I'm already in an existing NX workspace. I've got several apps that are here. This is from when I scaffolded the project out earlier. It's just got empty folders right now. So what I'll do is we're actually gonna fill out that scaffolding. So let's go ahead and let me close these guys out and let us build out the AnalogJs application. So first thing we'll do is we'll do an npm install on AnalogJs platform, and then let this run. Okay, now that we've got that installed, let's go ahead and run the generator that's going to go ahead and create that analog application for us in our workspace. So we can run nxg for generate at AnalogJs platform app, and then this will give us some prompts on what we want to name our AnalogJs app, and I'll call it Fantalytic-SSR. And then do we want to use Tailwind? Yes, please. Do we want to add TRPC? I have never used TRPC. It's something that I'd really want to also get my hands in and do a sample video for that. But for now, I'm going to put false just because it's something that I'm unfamiliar with. So I kind of just want to stick to learning one thing at a time. So false there. Now it's going to go ahead and it builds out our scaffolding. All right, so now it is done. Let's go ahead and take a look at our code editor. Now we see we have some files in the folders there. And there we go. Yeah, so it created that application for us. A couple things I want to note here is with Angular 16, which is the version of Angular that we're using in our monorepo, the minimum requirements that Angular sets is node 16. So if we are not on node 16, then we would get an error similar to this. So let me just see which version I'm using right now. I've got Node Version Manager. And I'm currently using Node version 18. The reason I'm using 18 is because, let me go ahead and first switch to 14, and I'll show you the error that I received when trying to open an Angular 16 application and an in a Node 14 using Node 14. So if I do nvm use v14 14.21.2, and then I run nx serve Fantalytic -ssr -o, you'll see that we're going to get an error here because we need to be at least on Angular 16. So let me then go to Angular 16, or to Node 16. So if I do nvm use v16 19.0 and I run that same command, you'll see I get another error where it says that we can, it looked like there was a common JS error that wasn't allowing us to load RxJS. Here it looks like all is good, but the problem is when I actually go to localhost 4200, it errors on me. Let's see, yeah. And so here when we look at it, it says that there was an issue loading, I believe it said something about RxJS. Yeah, failed to import RxJS, which is super weird. I did some researching online, and Brandon Roberts came to the rescue again, and he mentioned trying to use Node version 18. So when I went here and I changed my Node version to use v18, if I can type here, v18.13.0, and now run nx serve ssr. Once this, okay, so it's ready. Let's go ahead and now open up port 4200. Cool, and we're home. This is the template application that comes with when you create a new analog application. So very cool. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and just give an overview of the application that we're going to be rewriting using analog. So currently, I'm going to go ahead and close this, and we have a application in our NX workspace called Fantalytic-public. And this is so what this is I built a real quick and dirty application that helps me with my fantasy football in the league that I'm in. Basically, we've got a page for RSS feeds, so we can just look at things like ESPN, and they've got an RSS feed. I've got a service that just calls out and builds some Angular material cards based on that ESPN feed, and we have one for the footballers, which is a fantasy football RSS feed, and we have another one for PFF Fantasy Football Podcast, but I believe this one stopped working. Yeah, so that one's not updating, so I'll have to check to see if that's still a valid RSS feed or not. The other part of this application is we have this fantasy football menu item, And inside of here, we've got just a list of stats that are broken down by position and by year. You can go and you can switch the different positions, and we've got just a few stats and metrics that fill out for the players and things. And what we can do also is we can, so this is using AG Grid, so we get all of the cool functionality with AG Grid, and we can also start selecting different players, and then I have a compare players button here that's going to route to a new page that just shows a chart.js kind of chart that just, it's a line graph right now. We'll probably change it to use a bar graph. It's a little better, easier to digest the information using a bar graph. But this was, like I said, super quick and dirty. But it just plots over the data points over for each of the different statistics and things like that. So this is what we're actually going to improve and build using AnalogJs. So that will be the next video. I'm hoping you tune in, and I will see you then. Thanks.